Hi, Jeff Watts here from Watts Atelier of the Arts, and today I will be demonstrating a Quicksketch standing pose with a mill, and I will walk you through how to use rhythm line, structure, mapping, and how to basically bring up a drawing in a very quick and efficient manner. It's one of the things our school is known for.
That's why we learn. That's why we study so diligently at home from books and from different sources, so that when we're in the heat of battle, so to speak, we can make sure that we have at our disposal many different options for how to solve that problem.
So I hope you enjoy. I'll see you at the end. Cheers.
Now this one I might do a vignette on. Let's see. A vignette would be prematurely ending the drawing in an attractive manner. I'll see how it goes. Now that opens up creativity. It opens up design options, which is extremely, again, important, like we mentioned. So first thing I do is I start with the head. And I start with a Loomis idea, maybe, or some Loomis mixed with some Riley, mixed with some Gibson. And again, the more I've studied, the more I can draw upon other pieces of information in order to get a good head indication. Now again, it's not a head rendering. It's the illusion of a little complicated eye in there with about 4 slashes. So it's how little can you put down to get the best amount of readability. Head indication is an art in and of itself. You can take a page and fill it with 62 different ovals and then just plug heads into each oval and adjust it for the head angle based on just, doing some little tricks here and there to make it look like a 3/4 up view or a down view or whatever. And that's we could do a whole class on head Quicksketch, and I think we do occasionally teach that class. And I know we do teach head Quicksketch, where it's just a whole term of just doing 30-second heads, 15-second heads, 5-minute heads, the whole shebanger for just heads. So now there's your nice little head. Does it have to look just like Yoni? No. We've got the shoulders going downhill. We've got the traps coming off. He's a big guy, so I do want to try to keep his body type intact. I have to estimate out how far are the shoulders off of that head. And so I kind of look up at the pose, I look at what's going on, and I make an assessment. So I scan, I identify, I predict, I decide, and I execute. Then I stop and I reflect. Now you might say, well, Quicksketch is too fast. I don't have time to stop, analyze, da, 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 da. Well, that's kind of one of the misnomers of Quicksketch, is that it actually happens fast. Look how slow I actually move. I just make really good decisions, and as a result, I don't have to correct a lot, which makes me look like I get a lot done. That's what's cool about efficient work methodology. It gives you the illusion of speed, but I'm really not moving that fast. Like a lot of times you'll see me sitting next to someone in class and I'm just taking the class or drawing along with everybody. And the guy next to me is just moving at Mach 12 and getting nothing done and messing up all over the place. And I'm just stopping and looking at the model and analyzing, and he's feverishly working next to me, panicking. And it's just, it's more like slow sketch, really. So when I call it Quicksketch, I go, well, yeah, it kind of happens efficiently, but it's still based on actually pretty slow movements, pretty logical thinking, and it's steeped in that kind of respectful approach. And I think, like, look at how much we've already got done. We got the head, we got the neck, we got the shoulders. We're starting to use some of the rhythms to tie the pectoralis muscle together. Then we got to put a delt on there, and that becomes part of those football pads that you get from the Andrew Loomis. And then we notice that the arms go out like this, and then they come back. They go down like this, and they come back on his hip. So we start with something like that. Now, you might see Glenn do something like that, and then do something like that, where he's drawing through. He's not drawing around bump to bump to bump. He's drawing the general feel of that limb, and then he'll flesh it out to look exactly with the muscles and everything on it. So that's what you want to think about, is how do we simplify down these limbs and these concepts? And, you can mannequinize if you want. You can turn it into a paper towel roll, and that's an effective way to get an arm sculpted in. We've got our center line going down to the crotch. We've got the neck to the hip, chromium process to the crotch, a chromium process to the crotch. Let's get our rib cage in there. Okay. Now that was, again, a nice oval. You got to be able to do a nice oval. You got some latissimus on there, here to here, here to here. So we lock that together. Then we come back in. Now we blow out, all this information gets blown out in the shadows. So maybe I map like that and I leave like an air gap there or whatever in order to get my mapping to look like where it's ultimately going. Now, am I going to be able to fill that in 5 minutes, 10 minutes? No. I'm going to probably end up with an unfinished piece, obviously. Quicksketch is not about closure. We have no time for closure. It's about starts and thinking, and how do you think, and how do you process information. It's not about finishing anything. It's not a finishing class. We got to get that out of our head and forget about trying to finish a drawing and just get a nice piece of a drawing, right? So if I stopped right there, awesome Quicksketch, incredibly good Quicksketch. No, it's not finished, but who cares? It's not about that. So again, you got to get out of your head that you're trying to finish sketches. And the sooner you can do that, the more you'll be able to do it appropriately, and you'll probably finish more sketches because of it, because you're not freaking out about it. Now, this is a great way if you've been studying, like say you were taking the Bridgman anatomy class with me. This guy, we would now be doing Quicksketch, and you'd be utilizing what you've learned in the wedging and insertion aspect of that book that I created, that cheat sheet for you. And you'd be now applying it to an actual live model, working quickly and efficiently, taking those concepts, stripping them down, and learning how to use them in real time, in a real life situation. And now you're taking the book learning, combining it with life learning, and you're starting to extrapolate how you're going to use that information in the future correctly. Because all this book learning is about trying to get you to where you can express yourself in any number of ways, quickly and efficiently, and tell stories and flesh out characters and creatures and things, whether it's, again, for book covers or for comic covers, or it's, card game, illustrations. It doesn't freaking matter. It's all the same to me. It's just problem solving and shape design and distilling down information into articulate solutions to complicated visual problems. And we use the Riley method as our way of navigating through those complicated myriad of problems. And those problems range everything from head indications to body indications to whatever. I don't care what, everything has to be designed out. Now his leg here is in a kind of a relaxed repose, so we've got, like, again, maybe we have something, we start with something like that, and then the knee is kind of here, and he's got a pretty good size medialis muscle. Now this one is where the weight is firmly planted on this one. So again, I have that kind of, a lot of people mess this kind of leg up. It needs to kind of have this cantilevered weight, and then down into the shin, and then down into the foot. Now that's a cool looking leg already, but it's missing the calf, and the calf is in shadow. So I'm going to invent the calf back on there. So a lot of my design is going to be more Frazetta-esque. Frazetta has big calves, squared off. Now I've got it a little long. I do have to say that. I've stretched him out a little bit, which makes my head look a little small. I've made him more like 6'2" rather than 5'11". And so do I stop and erase that whole leg? No, I just start making some adjustments. I noticed that as I've been talking, I wasn't looking enough, and I maybe made him a little tall. So maybe I can add a little bit of trap, add a little bit of the skull, beef up the neck a little bit, and start to give him a slightly bigger head, which would make the legs look maybe more proportionate. So again, just another thing. So now we have like a gradation of tone here where the whole leg rolls into tone. And we're not seeing like the sartorius coming up as much and things like that. I think I may have also kind of got this a little, let's see, maybe a little high. Still a really nice drawing though. And see, this is, again, you're going to allow a little bit of inadequacy or a little bit of, let's actually fix this a little bit. Let me see if I can fix this really quick. We need to add a little bit of, less accuracy in Quicksketch, because we're just not going to be 100% accurate. It's too fast. You're going to give up something, and it's going to be things being perfectly proportioned. Do the best you can. Like I always say, do your best and forget the rest. Now that's getting better. I think I want that knee up even higher. So I'm going to, again, come around the medialis here and put the patella up here. There's a downhill flow, so that looks a little bit better there already. Bring that calf up. You can see where the old one was. Bring that sweep line for where the tibialis anterior is, right where that X is. Then we can go out the lateralis, put a little bit of tone here, go around the medialis here, flesh out that a little bit as it comes in, and then there's the adductor triangle here. Here's a little bit of the adductors. Here's a little bit of the sartorius. And again, we're having to dig this out of this leg because it's all in shadow. there's not a lot of information to see. So you're gonna have to inject in information that you know. That's again, learning from your book learning and injecting it into the situation you're in. Sometimes the situation calls for invention. Sometimes it calls for manipulation, idealization. And that's why we learn. That's why we study so diligently at home from books and from different sources, so that when we're in the heat of battle, so to speak, we can make sure that we have at our disposal many different options for how to solve that problem, and not just tap out and say, I don't know, I don't even know what to do there. I don't have an option because I just don't know well enough. So again, that indication here for a lost edge. Now, if I was to then have somebody fill it in later and say, okay, that's the map. And they say, oh, I understand how to read these maps. I'm just going to blow out like that. And now that was an indication for a lost edge. So a lot of times I tell people I don't want to see gaps in your thinking. And that's one time I would be okay with you leaving something not tied together, where it starts and then it stops and then it starts again and there's a gap. That would be because that's telling me and it's telling the viewer that this is a lost edge, and I'm preparing it for that. So that would be my calligraphy that would indicate a lost edge. And it wouldn't make sense until I filled it in with tone like that, and then you'd say, oh, okay, I get it now. But that's the way you can kind of indicate that.
All right, you guys, if you like what you've been seeing on our channel and you like the content that we've been doing, please like and subscribe. You know the routine. It helps us a lot just to be inspired to want to continue doing this stuff with your guys' support. So we love you guys. It's great having you guys on, watching what we do. We're very passionate about it. We have our online program. We have our brick and mortar. If you guys want to, click below in the description box, you can go link over to our website and check out what we've got going on. All right. Thanks a bunch, and hopefully see you in some more videos. And if you do like this stuff, please share it with somebody, another aspiring artist. I think it would, be really helpful for them. Okay. Cheers. Thanks a bunch.